Have you ever wondered what it's going to take to make this black box in your GMT400 one of these? Well, we definitely did. So that's why we're ripping apart this Suburban and trying to keep all of the OEM functionality that we can, but all the added benefits of Holley EFI. So stick around, let's see what it takes to make this truck run on Terminator X Max, or you get to see us crash and burn and ruin the entire truck. I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll find out soon. We're gonna have to slow things down for a second because we were just pulling off the blower pulley for Grip Tech because they were gonna remake us a blower pulley, also an idler because these things are beat, and you know we've had some belt slip issues.
Shredded it or just hot?
Yeah, no, it shredded it, like shredded it. And I found something that I didn't really expect to find. When I broke these bolts loose, I just yanked the pulley off and I heard something go flying. To my surprise, there were 4 washers holding this thing on. And it doesn't make sense to me. I've been playing with the combination, flipping the idler around, and using the Gates belt alignment tool, and found what I thought was the right orientation for everything. Got it all pretty aligned. Took the washers off, and then everything's all out of whack again. Now I flipped everything back to what I originally thought was the correct orientation, and it seems like it is. Because, I mean, why would you put washers on this thing? I think that solves our belt misalignment issue. But these things are still pretty beat, and I just want to get new ones. And Grip Tech, we all know they're a great company. They're going to put their coating on it as well. So we're going to get these boxed up and sent over to them, and we'll show you the new pulleys when they come in. All right, so now we've got the truck pulled apart a little bit. We've got the valve covers off, the intake plenum. Obviously, the blower is off the truck. I started taking off some of the coolant stuff, like the overflow tank. And right now, I'm just going through and labeling up the wires so I remember where everything goes as we go and de-pin some of this stuff and try to figure out some more of the Holley, what's staying, what's going, and whatnot. I also took off the header because we're getting rid of some of the smog and California stuff that we don't need anymore. So before I start pulling apart more of the engine, like the fuel rail, distributor, and things of that, I wanted to get the harness free a little bit, and I didn't really know how to do that, so I want to show you guys what I learned, because I thought you would have been able to split it there, and maybe you can, but it's a lot easier to jump on the inside of the truck. One more thing I meant to mention before is check out these rocker arms. When we got the truck, it had a comp cam sticker somewhere on the shroud over here-ish that was like carb compliant comp cam roller rockers. And honestly, I just thought they meant like those shitty rocker tips or the roller tips and whatnot, but these are like actual roller trunnion real roller rockers, so I thought it was cool that someone actually did install them on this truck. All right, now that we're on the inside of the truck, you're going to want to pop the glove box out, which is pretty easy. I did that ahead of time, and I put a light in here so you guys can hopefully see what I'm trying to show you. But there is a connector up top here that like presses into part of the bracing for the dash, and you're going to want to split this connector here and probably this one here, and then as you go down, now we can see through the firewall, so you're going to be able to snake it through and pull this whole harness out. Now that you went inside and disconnected all those connectors, you should be able to just pull this harness straight out, just like that. So now this side's all nice and free, but before we go deeper into wiring, I think I lost my train of thought before because my mind's just going a million miles an hour trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to do this truck, and what's coming up next. So what did I do already? Clutch fan, got rid of that. I think we're going to 3D scan up here and make a fan shroud so we could do electric fans. I don't know, maybe that'll be a product, but let me know what you guys think. Now more over here. We have the throttle body adapter for the blower, the supercharger itself, the coolant reservoir is taken off, the upper plenum of the intake manifold, and this is the header and smog pump I was telling you guys about. So what's interesting about these trucks is California was the only one that required a smog pump on them at the time. And of course, we got the truck from California, so we got one. So we'll probably be putting that on eBay. So my method with trying to get the wiring out of this truck so we could really see where we're at with everything. Just kind of tug on it and see what holds it up. And what's next to me looks like something running down there, so we're probably going to have to disconnect the transmission next. And as I'm going through the disassembly install process and all that, Spencer actually went full hardo mode and created a manual going over the Terminator integration, what we got to do to retain like your cruise control, trans control, the ABS, air conditioning, fuel system stuff. Like, this is just a very comprehensive guide that he put together. And look at all these diagrams. This is going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. And we're excited to vet it and make it something that we can help you guys with if you want to do anything like this on a big block GMT400. I'm sure there's going to be some nuances throughout the years, but we're trying to show that you can do this, you can do it the right way, you can keep your factory air conditioning and other creature comforts, and you don't just need to have some badass engine in here with nothing else working. Alright, what I was just messing with now is taking the VCM out of the truck. So this is the original computer that was controlling everything, because underneath all that we have the Whipple controller, which I am running out of hands, and I'll show you in a second. Alright, now that I have the VCM put down, this box over here is the piggyback controller for the Whipple, which got a vacuum signal from the intake and had all this wiring spliced into the harness, and this is what they would include to integrate it to the factory computer. So with the new Holley system, obviously we don't need any of that, so we're going to be removing it. Now that I have things torn apart just a little bit more, I have all the fasteners out, so this is all loose. We have some wiring that's going down through the firewall and back to the car, which is probably for the booster pump and all the Whipple stuff that's in the frame rail over there. But what's tied in here is the yellow wire off of the red connector. They spliced this controller in, so I'm gonna have to cut that out and repair that now. So right up here you can see where we had to notch the chassis just a skosh, or a big skosh maybe, to fit the differential housing. And it is conveniently placed right next to the booster pump, which we just took the fasteners out, and now that'll be it for removing the Whipple system. At this point, you might be wondering, what even is a booster pump? In this application, it basically overclocks the fuel pump. So you don't need to replace the factory fuel pump or the injectors, and it makes it a super easy install on these bone stock trucks. But don't even think about modifying them, because there's no tunability to this thing. That's where the Holley is going to shine. We're going to be able to actually change the timing and the fuel map and just anything this wasn't capable of. So that being said, let's drop the tank and get that old fuel pump out so we can get the bigger one in. Maybe I should actually read the instructions Spencer made.
Feels like the plastic cover is loose, but
Yeah,
not the actual tank.
I did notice that. Yeah, I think it's just stuck.
Oh, someone's been back here before.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's like crimp connectors on here, like spade connectors.
Gotcha. If you could see me looking like a psychopath. I see what you mean. Those lines have like some weird crimp on them. That was like a big 90s thing. It's like one of those Chinese finger traps where you press it on and it has like barbs in it that like lock in it. While we were trying to remove these barbed fuel lines, I thought it would have been easier if we just went and bought the right tool, but it just sucked. We wasted a bunch of time trying to get it from Harbor Freight, driving around for about an hour. I should have just went with my gut and did it with a screwdriver, or listened to Ari's advice and 3D print a set. But you win some, you lose some. It did not work that well for this application. We should probably clean up around here just a little so no schmutz goes in the tank when we pop the fuel pump out. Don't use those pieces of shit. Screwdriver works a lot better. I just dress like shit every day.
We're doing this union style. there's 2 guys watching him and 1 guy cleaning.
You guys are on overtime. I can't wait for this to be super clean and back installed in the truck where you never see it again.
Yeah, so what's the point?
What's the point of wiping your ass?
You're gonna get shit in your underwear.
I mean, no one's looking.
Yeah, but it's uncomfortable.
I'd be uncomfortable if my gas tank were dirty.
Yeah, you seem like the type of guy that'd be uncomfortable with a dirty gas tank.
Let's see how this guy pops up. You might need to hit that out.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here.
I think you just gotta yank it out. Sweet. Tank looks really good. Really clean inside. So one thing with any build when you're swapping a fuel pump, you're going to want to make sure you have the fuel gauge programmed correctly in your ECU. So since we're swapping to an aftermarket pump, this one's from Quantum Fuel Systems, we're not really sure what the range is on this gauge. I'm sure it might be published somewhere. We could probably reach out to them. But even that, I'd still like to verify the resistance value that this thing is giving out so we can give a more accurate readout into the Holley. So I just wanted to show you guys a quick and easy way you could do that. So you want to grab a multimeter and make sure you have it set to ohms because you're measuring resistance across the sensor. And it doesn't matter about polarity what you're doing here. Just put one clip on one side and grab another clip for the other side. And you can see here it's reading just about 40 ohms. The other side's reading just about 250 ohms. So at this point, we could pretty much assume it's going to be 40 to 250 ohms and just give it a linear relationship from full to empty. Then to assemble this pump, you're just going to want to put the seal back onto it, which just sits on the bottom like this. Then you grab your float. That should just snap into place like that. And there you go. Now your pump is ready to go in. And just for curiosity's sake, we wanted to grab the original and see if we could get a resistance check on that too. I don't think I'm going to be able to clip onto it because it just doesn't have as much exposed wire. So let's see. We're going to go all the way down. We're at 41. Go all the way up. We're at 255. So pretty much the same range as the factory pump. Good to know. That's enough testing. Let's get that fuel pump in there. Maybe just a little lube on the seal. We'll make her go home. There she goes. Alright guys, that wraps up this week's video of the Suburban. I'm not trying to make this a million-part series of how many videos can we make to install Holley on this truck, but I just wanted to get an update, keep these weekly videos going because I'm enjoying them. I hope you guys are too. Next week, we're definitely going to dive into some 3D scanning, get further with the wiring and all that. And I think the best way to go about this is once we're all done, we have all the kinks sorted out, we'll make a how-to video that's much more concise, to the point for you guys that want to do this on your own truck. But for now, that's this week's update, and catch you next week.